Hello students, welcome to the next session of Daily News Analysis. I am Anil Tiwari and I am here with the major developments presented in the newspaper and otherwise. Today we have taken a revenge, or we have done what was needed for India, and that is our first topic in our explain section. The second topic will be on India-UK Free Trade Agreement. Then we will look at the Human Development Index, the report that came out, and very interestingly it is linking AI with human development. Very interesting topic. The fourth topic will be on Xerces Butterfly. Very interesting story about this little butterfly which triggered a butterfly effect. If you know what I mean, its extinction and its attribution to human actions led to development of a lot of conservatory measurements, and that we will discuss. And at the last, in the main section, we will be discussing civil services and the challenges associated with civil services. So tag along and we will have a great discussion today. So the first article is related to Operation Sindoor. The name suggests that we have taken a revenge for the loss of Sindoor of so many women on that day in the Pahalgam terror attack. Many people came to India. Peacefully, tourists were visiting Jammu and Kashmir, and they killed them in cold blood. That has to be avenged, and we have done it today. You all have woken up for this news, and since then you must have feeling proud for our armed forces, and we will see what development took place, and all these things are newspaper reports. Certain things are taken from the official government sources. We will look at what has happened. So as per the PIB report, the government has launched Operation Sindoor in the midnight, or in the night around 1:44 or around 1 or 12:30 am, and 9 targets were mentioned that we have targeted, and then further it says that our measures, our actions were focused, measured and non-escalatory in nature, because we did not target any Pakistani military bases. So that was told by the government, and further this was to avenge the death of 25 Indians and 1 Nepali citizen who were murdered on that day. And the briefing later on took place, and we were shown how we have suffered a lot from these terrorist attacks, and now we are setting a precedent that if something of that nature is done on our land, we will not sit back, we will hit back. So that was the measure. Further information from newspaper, particularly Times of India, that we used hammer bombs and scalp missile and loitering munitions to deliver this attack. This hammer is a bomb, basically explosive device, and then scalp is a missile that can hit targets very precisely, meaning that if a building is targeted, it can hit that building and destroy it. So that was used. And loitering munitions, this might seem a difficult term for you, but this is nothing but suicide drones, meaning that these are drones which are basically specifically trained, or let's say specifically built to deliver explosives to a particular precision site. So we have used these loitering munitions. Moving along, these targets are collected from newspapers. These have been the targets. So we have Markaz Subhanallah, target in Bahawalpur, Markaz Taiba in Muridke. These were headquarters of Jaise Mohammed and Lashkar-e-Toiba respectively. Then we have Sarjal, Mahmuna Joya, Markaz Ahle Hadith. Then we have Markaz Abbas. Then we have Maskar Rahil Sahid in Kotli. We have Shawai Nalla camp. Then we have Saidna Bilal camp in Muzaffarabad. So all these were the targets carried out by precision attack to destroy the hideouts and the infrastructure of the terror groups that were plotting and planning and executing all the terror attacks in the Indian soil. Moving along, we have seen a united reaction from all political parties or people from India. That was the sign of India, that has been the sign of India on all wars and all fronts. we are united against terrorism. No kinds of terrorism is allowed, permitted, or basically condoned. So we have reactions from the government. Home Minister said that this was in response to the brutal killing in the Pahalgam. Then we have our opposition leader reacting that proud of our armed forces, Jai Hind. Then other opposition members like Mamata Banerjee and other political parties, all of them have reacted in a positive manner. We are all united. That is the strength of India today. Further, from outside India, foreign people have also reacted. Reactions from China has come, which has said that they regret, it is a regrettable incident, and also they have said that Pakistan should exercise maximum restraint, and also they were talking about regional peace altogether. And in a hint, they were also saying that China is opposed to all form of terrorism. We know what kind of truth lies here. Then US President Trump has said that this should end quickly, and the war has been going on since long. Then Secretary also echoed his word, Secretary of Defense. Then France Foreign Minister also has said that India has all right to defend itself against all kinds of terrorism, but regional peace is important, and we should restrain. So this is the reaction from all around the world. There will be no question on this. This is a developing story. This is very important for maybe GS3, but it is very important for our morale and our sovereignty, our respect and peace. So this has been a good development. Alright, so the next topic is again a major development. India UK has signed free trade agreement. This is one of the first free trade agreement, full-fledged free trade agreement with the Western country that we have signed. And for UK, it is one of the most important economic agreement after it got out from EU. So post Brexit, for them it is the biggest, and for us it is the first free trade agreement with any Western country. So big deal for us. Why? Because recently we have seen how Trump was behaving regarding tariffs, and so many things were changing so fast in the Western world. So this trade deal will boost up Indian economy. It will give us a platform and a market for our exporters to explore, and then we can access the service sector also in UK. We will discuss why this is very important. We will go by sector and sector, and we will see how it is going to benefit. It is one thing that to know that free trade agreement has been signed, and then to go in detail and see what products have been given impact and how it will impact the different sectors. So we'll jump into it. It will be relevant for your GS paper 2 international relations, and it will be GS3 economy. And the backdrop is that FTA has been signed with a double contribution convention. I will tell you what double contribution convention is. So what is FTA? First and foremost, I'll ask you. So free trade and agreement, it is self-explanatory. Free trade agreement meaning that if two countries are trading, they have least amount of tariffs, both direct tariffs and both indirect tariffs. Both should be least. It should not. It is not necessary that it will be zero. Don't get confused. Free trade agreement does not mean that no tariffs are there. Minimum tariffs are there so that ease of trade can be improved. Okay. Now you can understand what kind of problems might be there when you are trying to have a free trade agreement with somebody. That you might have certain industries that are very crucial for your economy. You do not want to open it up for the world, because the world might come and capture that area. For the other person also, you might have certain advantage in certain areas, and they might be afraid that your product might flood their market. Those kind of apprehensions might be there. Then in free trade agreements, movement of people also come. Movement of people will require a lot of things to be reduced. For example, in UK we have healthcare system that is completely funded by the government, and all the employees and employers, they have to contribute to it. In India that is also there, but it is not the way it is in in UK. So when an Indian used to go in UK as an immigrant to work there, they have to contribute a lot, and the employer also has to contribute a lot. That made it difficult for people to work in UK. तो आप अगर UK जाएंगे तो आपको बहुत सारा हेल्थ केयर के लिए देना पड़ता है. For example, healthcare insurance is there, and around 500 euros per year is required for every person to basically contribute. That is a huge amount. So apart from that, there are a lot of other charges. Immigration, health charges are there, that has to be given. So all these things were there. So free trade agreement basically tries to overhaul all these things, that people to people movement, movement of goods, selling of goods, tariff barriers, non-tariff barriers, they are reduced to minimum. That is free trade agreement. So we have signed this with UK. So the significance I have told, that first full-fledged free trade agreement with a Western nation. We have certain things with Australia, but that is partial. Then we have major point to remember, that whatever US was doing, that was impacting the 15% of global imports. So in the world, US only accounts for 15% of the global imports. So we have to tap other markets. If we tap other markets, then we can basically subside all the impacts that we are facing because of US. Then you can see that 99% of Indian exports are going to benefit from zero duty. Then you can see the strong strategic alignment will take place with UK, and greater global mobility for aspirational young Indians will be there, because we have a better mechanism to go there. Then we can see that we were the 11th trading partner, or let's say Britain was the 11th largest trading partner of India. We had around $42 billion trade, out of which 17 billion were the UK exports to India, and around 25 billion from India to UK. And Britain also said that they have the biggest, most economically significant deal after the exit from EU. There is a table in which different products are written and what kind of duties will be there. So remember that we have zero duty now for so many products, mineral, chemicals, plastic. You can read through this list. Further, we have certain things like gradually the tariffs will be phased out. For example, whiskey is there. So right now we have slashed the tariffs half, and then upcoming decade we will go towards 40%. So that is a great development in the upcoming future also. How it is going to benefit? It is a equitable and balanced treaty, as said by Prime Minister Modi. How it is going to be benefiting the UK? UK will be benefited. How it will benefit? India tariffs will be slashed on key products such as whiskey, cosmetics and medical devices. So UK is exporting these products, so we have slashed. So UK will be benefiting from it. Reductions locked in on 90% of tariff lines, with 85% of these becoming fully tariff free within a decade. So we have locked around 90% of tariff lines, and then we will go to 0% on 85% of the tariff lines within a decade. Meaning जैसे जैसे टाइम आगे बढ़ेगा, एक हमने उसमें क्लॉक लगा दी है कि ये टैरिफ्स आज से शुरू होंगे कम होना, एंड देन ग्रेजुअली दे विल डेसिपेट, खत्म हो जाएंगे. विस्की जिनका अगेन 75% जो मैंने समझाया आपको. देन ऑटोमेटिव टैरिफ्स विल गो फ्रॉम 100% टू 10%. तो किया मोटर्स की जो कार आ रही है, किया मोटर्स आई थिंक यूके से आता है, जो कार आ रही है वो एमजी की, एटलीस्ट एमजी तो यूके का है, तो वो जो कार आ रही है अगर यूके से बन के आ रही हैं तो उन पे अब 10% टैरिफ लगेगा. देन वी हैव अदर गुड्स with reduced tariffs like cosmetic, aerospace, lamb, medical devices, salmon, electrical machinery, soft drinks, chocolates and biscuits. Okay, this will be reduced. How India is going to benefit? As I have told, 99% of the products will be zero tariff to UK, whatever we are sending. Export opportunity will be there. For what sectors? Remember, labor intensive sectors, for example, textile, they will benefit. Marine products, leather, footwear, sports goods and toys, gems and jewelry, and other important sectors such as engineering goods, auto parts, engines and organic chemicals. All the sectors that are labor intensive, there are a lot of man hours required to basically generate a product, they will benefit. That will create a lot of employment. This is good news. Boost to trade in services such as IT, ITES, financial services, professional services, other businesses. See, UK is getting its output, 80% of its output from service sector. So it is a great market for services, and we can tap that market if our talented, today only Mr. Jaishankar has said that India has talent, a lot of talent, and we can supply it to the world also. Now Europe is suffering. UPSC has asked the question that what are the different countries which are going grey, basically getting old, or which of the countries that are facing a demographic issue that their birth rate is not enough to support their economies. India has a lot of demographic dividend. We can train them, we can send them. Recently, I have seen a photograph or a video where people are getting trained on construction activities so that they can be sent to Israel to work in a construction industry. It is not that we will get all the good AC jobs. We have to supply, or we can cater to all kinds of services around the world. We can have good free trade agreements. So India is also discussing free trade agreements with US, EU, and then Chile and all other countries. We are discussing free trade agreements with these countries also. So it is a good development. But it has taken a lot of time to get to this development. It has happened in 2025, but it was promised in 2022 Diwali by the UK Prime Minister, but it did not happen. So from 2004, we had the signing of strategic partnership. Then 2005, we have the establishment of UK and India Joint Economic and Trade Committee. Then 2006, a joint trade review was established. Then India-UK financial partnership took place in 2014. Then 2021, we had launched enhanced trade partnership. And then negotiations since 2022 has been going on, and now we have this free trade agreement in 2025. Moving along, how it is gonna benefit? So we will look at the different sectors. In the labor intensive sector, as I have discussed, textile, footwear and other manufacturing industries will be benefiting. In service sector, as I have explained, 80% of the output in UK is from service sector, so we can benefit. Carbon tax, this is very important. So there is this thing called Carbon Border Adjustment Mechanism. What is this CBAM? So see, in Europe, imagine this is UK. In Europe in general and in UK, so anybody, let's say manufacturing steel, they will be charged a certain percentage in order to compensate for carbon dioxide they have utilized. So you are producing steel, you must be doing greenhouse gas emission. Now how we can quantify it? पैसे कैसे लें उस चीज़ के? कि आपने environmental services का इस्तेमाल तो किया है, तो यूके में क्या चल रहा है, वो कह रहे हैं कि आप इस पर टैक्स दोगे. इट विल कम अप इन 2027, बट दे आर सेइंग दैट वी विल हैव अ टैक्स, कार्बन टैक्स फॉर यू. But if India is producing steel and sending it to UK, how UK is going to charge India for this carbon tax? For that they have come up with carbon border adjustment mechanism. मतलब कि हम एक बॉर्डर बनाएंगे, उस पर कार्बन टैक्स लगेगा, कोई भी चीज़ अंदर आएगी तो. Why? लॉजिक इज देयर, बिकॉज जो डोमेस्टिक स्टील है वो महंगा पड़ेगा, वो जो इंडस्ट्री है वो डेसिपेट हो जाएगी, क्योंकि बाहर से स्टील सस्ता पड़ेगा क्योंकि उस पर कार्बन टैक्स नहीं है. तो उन्होंने दोनों को बैलेंस करने के लिए एक ये मैकेनिज्म बना रखा है. इस फ्री ट्रेड अग्रीमेंट में इस इशू को उठाया गया और एक सॉल्यूशन लाया गया जिसका नाम है रीबैलेंसिंग मैकेनिज्म. मीनिंग दैट जो इंडिया की जो इंडस्ट्री है जिसको लॉस होगा इस CBAM की वजह से, वो यूके कॉम्पनसेट करेगा. सो दैट्स हाउ इट इज गोइंग टू बी बेनिफिटिंग इंडिया. कार्बन बॉर्डर एडजस्टमेंट मैकेनिज्म समझ में आया कि नहीं? यूपीएससी विल आस्क, मे आस्क दिस इन दी प्रीलिम्स 2025 डायरेक्टली. कार्बन बॉर्डर एडजस्टमेंट मैकेनिज्म क्या है? ओके. देन स्किल्ड इंडियन वर्कर्स के लिए कैसे बेनिफिशियल है? सो देर इज दिस अग्रीमेंट कॉल्ड डबल, one second, there is this agreement called double, I have mentioned it here only, this is called double contribution, okay. So what Indians will get out of this is simply that for 3 years Indians can go there and they can work without contributing to their social security contributions. मीनिंग दैट हेल्थ केयर के लिए नहीं देना पड़ेगा, जो वहाँ लगता है एम्प्लॉयर को और एम्प्लॉई को, जो वहाँ कंट्रीब्यूट करना पड़ता है वो नहीं लगेगा. इंडिया में व्हाट डज वी पे इन इंडिया? वी पे EPFO, प्रोविडेंट फंड में हम देते हैं पैसा. एम्प्लॉयर भी देता है और एम्प्लॉई भी देता है, बोथ देते हैं. सो इफ इंडियन वर्कर गोज टू टेम्पररी बेसिस टू UK, they will contribute to EPFO, they will continue to contribute to EPFO and that will be sufficient for UK also. सिमिलरली यूके का कोई पर्सन अगर इंडिया आता है तो उसको इंडिया में नहीं करना पड़ेगा कंट्रीब्यूट. तो ये डबल बेनिफिशियल है. रेसिप्रोकल अग्रीमेंट है, सिंगल सोशल सिक्योरिटी कंट्रीब्यूशन काम करेगा. एम्प्लॉइज वर्किंग टेम्परली इन अदर कंट्री अप टू 3 years ओनली हैव टू पे इन वन कंट्री. देन सिमिलर इन एग्जिस्टिंग अग्रीमेंट वी हैव विद कैनेडा, जापान, स्विट्जरलैंड, and other countries. And एक और चीज़ है, इमिग्रेशन हेल्थ सरचार्ज नहीं लगेगा. जब भी आप किसी दूसरी कंट्री में जाते हो एक सरचार्ज लगता है, वो नहीं लगेगा. सरचार्ज क्या होते हैं आप कमेंट सेक्शन में जरूर बताना. सरचार्ज क्या होते हैं, व्हाट आर सरचार्जेस. बायलैटरल इन्वेस्टमेंट ट्रीटी एंड फ्यूचर कॉपरेशन इज ऑन द लाइन. BIT इज ऑन द लाइन. अब हमारे पास फ्री ट्रेड एग्रीमेंट हो गया है, BIT हम करेंगे. बेसिकली बायलैटरल इन्वेस्टमेंट ट्रीटी होती है, इसमें हम कॉमन एक इन्वेस्टमेंट के क्राइटेरिया डिसाइड कर लेते हैं और उनके बेसिस पे एक दूसरे के जो सिटीजन्स होते हैं वो इन्वेस्टमेंट कर सकते हैं. ओके. And also we will have a future better economic integration with UK's economy. Strategically speaking, deal is very, very, very important in terms of the issue going on with US, and also this will set a good gold standard for the trade deal with EU, or let's say US. So US recently has said that we are in negotiation with India, and it might be the first treaty with anybody in the world. So India might be the first country that may sign a treaty with US. So further we can also see that in the global arena, India is so important that after getting out of EU, UK signed the first deal. And also if we see China's rising anti-China sentiment and China's actions in this economic downturn in the global scenario, it is very important that we sign with such a major economy. And then we can see that our dream of making India a global manufacturing hub might come true, because such free trade agreements will benefit definitely. But there are certain challenges in the final stages. This is not challenges, this is the challenge in the final stages. There is one more thing that is called rules of origin. So in the globalized world today, in the globalized world and globalized economy today, no single product is produced and sold from one place. आप अपना फ़ोन देख लो, उसमें स्क्रीन साउथ कोरिया से आई है, प्रोसेसर चाइना से आया है, कोई चीज़ ताइवान से आई है. 4 देश से चीज़ें आती हैं, एक जगह असेंबल होती हैं, फिर बिकती हैं. कोई भी ऐसा एक प्रोडक्ट नहीं है, आप मुझे नाम लेके बता दो, जो एक कंट्री में बनता हो. इवन इन योर मोटरसाइकिल द डिस्प्ले इज कमिंग फ्रॉम ताइवान. दी मे बी योर इंजन माइट बी मैन्युफैक्चर्ड इन उत्तर प्रदेश, इट माइट बी मैन्युफैक्चर्ड इन तमिलनाडु. सो ग्लोबलाइज वर्ल्ड है, इसमें 4 जगह से चीज़ें आती हैं, एक जगह बनती हैं. लेकिन टैक्स किस तरीके से करें उसको, ये बहुत बड़ा चैलेंज होता है. तो कुछ रूल्स डिसाइड होते हैं दैट वी विल डिसाइड, दैट विल confirm that okay, this product is from this origin. So there have been certain rules. For example, if the product is taking a lot of transformation at a one place, a critical transformation is taking place, then that will be considered at origin. If there is a significant proportion of that product is coming from a country, that may be as a rule of origin. So we have agreed upon these rules of origin. Then further, short-term services visa were also agreed upon, and then carbon border adjustment mechanism that I have explained already were also agreed upon and resolved. These things were delaying from 2022 till 2025. Now, based on this discussion, try and attempt this question. We will take up this topic for the mains perspective in later discussions, because this is a developmental issue. We will see a lot of editorials and we will discuss it on the mains perspective. Right now you attempt a question on prelims perspective. Here we will jump to the next topic. Alright, so the next article is also very important for your exam, because UPSC has already asked many questions on this in both prelims, mains, and it might be a question for you in your interview also. So very important that Human Development Report has been released, Human Development Report 2025. The Human Development Index 2023 has been released. So be very clear about these dates, because UPSC might ask a question and you may get confused. 2023 Human Development Index is released, 2025 Human Development Report is released. What is the theme of this report? A matter of choice, people and possibilities in the age of AI. So you have seen all apps, everything is having AI. So Human Development Index is also, or report is also having AI into it. So that is how you can remember it. Alright, so we will see what improvements we have done in Human Development Index, and first and foremost I will give you a basic idea what is this index is all about, why we are monitoring this, and what are the different aspects of this index. So it will be in your GS paper 2 Social Justice, and UNDP released the Human Development Report 2025 is the backdrop. What is Human Development Index? So humans, we and our humans, what is this development? Development is that okay, in 2000 you were something, and in 2025 you are something different. So you have developed, you might have acquired certain education, you might have acquired maybe better food, you might have acquired a better house, you might be living in a better locality, the area might be better. So your quality of life might have changed. With that, you see that Indian economy is also rising. So Indian economy might have doubled, tripled, or maybe quadrupled. So cross 2, cross 3, cross 4 might have taken place in the GDP in absolute terms. We are now around $4 trillion. You have seen that we have surpassed Japan also in terms of the rank in the economic development. But is this economic development of the country reflected in your life or not? That is very important. So we have to measure it, that okay, where are the people of a country? So there might be a case where country is rising very fast, but the people are not getting developed, or maybe certain people might be getting developed a lot and some people might not. So that's where human development index comes. So human development index is nothing but calculations of certain aspects of your life. So what are the things that you consider that okay, if I have those, then I will consider myself as a developed person, not as a person who has privileges or things. So you will see that okay, healthcare. So if I am healthy, if I am living more, if I am better in terms of health, then I am developed. You will say okay, education. What kind of education, for how long I have had this education, that might give a better idea that okay, I am a developed person. Okay, so these kind of things were looked, or let's say calculated in this human development index. So as a definition, a formal definition, you remember the human development index introduced in 1990s was created to emphasize that people and their capabilities should be the ultimate criteria for assessing development of a country, not economic growth alone. So that is understood and explained by me clearly. What are the different dimensions? What are the indicators and what are the dimension index? Very simply, if you look at, there are three things. Number one is your health. Number 2 is your knowledge. Number 3 is your standard of living. ये 3 चीज़ों का क्राइटेरिया. अब इनको किन से मेजर करते हैं? कुछ इंडिकेटर तो होना चाहिए, कुछ मैथमेटिकल कॉन्सेप्ट तो होना चाहिए. द मैथमेटिकल कॉन्सेप्ट फॉर लॉन्ग एंड हेल्दी लाइफ, they say that at birth how much is your life expectancy, meaning that आज मैं पैदा हुआ अगर, तो आज मेरी कंट्री में लाइफ एक्सपेक्टेंसी कितनी है, मैं कितना जी सकता हूँ. दैट इज द क्राइटेरिया फॉर लॉन्ग एंड हेल्दी लाइफ. सेकेंडली वी हैव दिस नॉलेज. in there we have two things. Number one is expected years of schooling, that okay, if you enroll in school, then how many years you will continue in that school. Then secondly we have mean years of schooling, meaning overall what is the mean of number of years in schooling. हर बच्चा ऑन एन एवरेज कितने साल स्कूल में पढ़ता है और कितना वो पढ़ेगा, एक्सपेक्टेड कितना है. ये दो चीज़ें एजुकेशन के लिए मेजर करते हैं. देन वी हैव GNI पर कैपिटा, ग्रॉस नेशनल इनकम पर कैपिटा on PPP terms in dollars. We calculate this and we say that okay, this much income basically you have for yourself. So these three things will be counted and combined together with three different index, and then we will form the human development index. It is released by UNDP. It is led by UN, United Nations Development Program, every year since 1990, and our rank is 130 out of 193. In the previous index, that is 2022, we were 133. So we have increased 3 points, or we have improved our rank by 3 points. Further, the score is on 0.685. अब ये स्कोर क्या होता है, इतना याद रखो कि 7 का इसको याद रखना. 7 थाला फॉर अ रीजन. 7 इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. वाई? बिकॉज 7 के बाद आप कहे जाते हो हाईली डेवलप्ड कंट्री, हाई डेवलप में गिने जाते हो. 7 से नीचे आप मीडियम में गिने जाते हो. जब आप शर्ट खरीदने जाते हो तो मीडियम और लार्ज होता है, तो हम मीडियम पे हैं अभी. ठीक है, वेयर वी आर एट द मीडियम. वी आर क्लोजिंग टू द हाई डेवलपमेंट ग्रोथ. 0.685 in 2023 फ्रॉम 676 in 2022. कैटेगरी क्या है? वही मीडियम ह्यूमन डेवलपमेंट ग्रुप में हम रिमेन्ड है, उससे आगे नहीं बढ़े हैं. ट्रेंड बट अच्छा है. ट्रेंड क्या है कि हम हाई की तरफ जा रहे हैं. ठीक है, अब ये मैंने 2 स्क्रीनशॉट आपको दिए हैं. इंडिया का जो प्लेस है वो बांग्लादेश के साथ कोइंसाइडेड है 130 पे. हमसे ऊपर तुवालू है, तजिकिस्तान है, इराक है, यू विल बी सरप्राइज्ड. हमसे नीचे एल सल्वाडोर, इक्वाटोरियल गिनी, पैलेस्टाइन, स्टेट ऑफ पैलेस्टाइन, कार्बोबर्ड, ये सब हैं हमारे आसपास. तो हमें बहुत सारा आगे ट्रेवल करना है, हमें बहुत आगे जाना है. टॉप की कंट्रीज कौन कौन सी हैं? टॉप में हमारा आइसलैंड है, नॉर्वे है, स्विट्जरलैंड एंड डेनमार्क है. 1 2 3 4. इनका स्कोर कितना है अगर आप यहाँ ध्यान से देखोगे 0.972, 970, 970, 962. We are at 0.685. So that difference is there about 3 points. 0.3 का डिफरेंस है, ठीक है. बट एक ग्राफ अगर आपको ड्रॉ करना पड़े मेंस में तो ग्राफ ड्रॉ करना है कंसिस्टेंट राइज का. आप ऐसे बना सकते हो कि आप डिकेट्स बना सकते हो यूँ, यहाँ डिकेट बना देना, यहाँ 2025 लिख देना, ठीक है. मैं यहाँ बना देता हूँ. आप ऐसा एक ग्राफ बना सकते हो, यहाँ 2025 लिख के आप ऐसा कंसिस्टेंट राइज बना सकते हो ह्यूमन डेवलपमेंट इंडेक्स के अंदर, ठीक है. अब इसके पूरे सारी चीज़ें देखते हैं अपन एक एक करके फटाफट. तो देखो ग्रॉस नेशनल इनकम जो मैंने आपको बोला, इनकम एंड पॉवर्टी का जो क्राइटेरिया है उसके अंदर 2023 में हमारा 9,000 था, $9,000 हो गया है पर कैपिटा, और वो 1990 में करीब करीब 2,000 था. तो हमने ये बहुत बड़ा इंप्रूवमेंट किया है, 4 फोल्ड इंप्रूवमेंट है. देन मल्टी डायमेंशनल पॉवर्टी इंडेक्स की इफ आई टॉक अबाउट इट, देन अराउंड 135 मिलियन पीपल हैव पुल्ड आउट ऑफ मल्टी डायमेंशनल पॉवर्टी बिटवीन 2015-16 एंड 1921. बट चैलेंजेस नोट किए हैं कि इनइक्वालिटी का लॉस बहुत ज़्यादा है. इफ आई शो यू दिस रिपोर्ट एंड इफ यू सी हेयर nicely, then you will see inequality adjusted human development index. In that India has lost around 30%, 30 points. So that is a cause of concern because inequality is rising in India a lot. So it is highest in Asia. And persistent issues क्या है? Income disparity and gender inequality है. Because they do not count the Panchayati Raj institutions, because there if this comes then gender inequality will change. But now we see the hopeful development is that 1/3 of the legislative bodies seats will be reserved for women, and that is very important development for us. That will boost our human development index much more. Then on life expectancies we can see 1990s में करीब करीब 58 साल थी, अभी 72 साल हो गई है, highest ever since human development index's inception. Recovery attributed to these programs were mentioned. So remember these programs, nicely you study them. National Rural Health Mission, Ayushman Bharat, Janni Suraksha Yojana, UPSC has already asked question on Janni Suraksha Yojana. Poshan Abhiyan, very important. Education advancement. Then expected years of schooling, 13 साल के करीब करीब है अभी 2023 में. It was 8.2 years in 1990. Key initiatives you can see, right to education. Then we have Samak Shiksha Abhiyan and National Education Policy 2020. Remaining concern is that quality is still an issue. ASA report, if you have read, then quality issue is there, that our primary school students cannot read and solve basic quantitative problems nicely. But there are certain global issues that have been pointed out by this report. 2 issues. Number 1 is that since 1990s we are seeing the slowest progress, and India is also there. So the rate of progress is the slowest since 1990. That is one concern. And the second concern is that the gap between high HDI countries and the low HDI countries has increased. So inequality is rising everywhere between high human development index countries and low index countries, and within India also. Then AI का बड़ा रोल है. AI कैसे इंट्रोड्यूस किया गया इस रिपोर्ट के अंदर? So the title says a matter of choice, people and possibilities in the age of AI. So there are certain things which I will tell you in this, that first and foremost AI in India. So India is positioned as a rising AI powerhouse. Why? Because they are saying that we have highest self-reported AI skill penetration in globally. That is very important. Then implication क्या होगा? Implication ये होगा कि India can act as a transformative force in the AI section. There are 2 things which I mentioned here. Very interesting, that these people have asked question to ChatGPT and they have asked question to the humans, and the response, the closer the response was, and they have linked it to the human development index. So they have seen that in the high development countries around 0.8, 0.7, मैंने बोला ना 7 थाला फॉर अ रीजन, 7 के ऊपर जो है वो उनका चैट जीपीटी के साथ बहुत अच्छा रिस्पॉन्स रहा है, बड़ा क्लोज रिस्पॉन्स है. बट एज सुन एज यू कम डाउन इन द ह्यूमन डेवलपमेंट इंडेक्स, द रिस्पॉन्स, द क्लोजनेस टू द रिस्पॉन्स बाय द AI चैट जीपीटी reduces. That is one thing. Secondly, for what different purposes, what different groups are using AI for? So they have mentioned that students are mostly using for education, and then for entertainment, and then for work, and then for health. But the retired people are using maximum for the health, as obvious, and then workforce is using mostly for work, as obvious, and for entertainment. But the non-workforce, they are using mostly for entertainment. This is a concern, that maximum they are using for entertainment purposes. So the use of AI in different groups is also explained in this report. Certain things about UNDP are also important for your exam. It was established in 1965 in the New York, USA. It is a parent organization of parent organization is United Nations. The mandate is very obvious. Now you can understand: eradicate poverty, reduce inequalities, build resilience so countries can sustain progress. We have seen two global concerns that the progress is not being sustained. A lot of loss has taken place. Major initiatives are sustainable development goals. These 17 goals are decided to be completed by 2030. Then we have SDR report that we have seen. It has been published every year since 1990. Then we have multidimensional poverty index, very important. Improvement on SDI, because SDI is saying all about the country, but it is not talking about the intensity of the poverty. It is not talking about the head count of the poverty, meaning that individual level pe or inside a country in different areas what kind of poverty is existing. So in any other discussion we will discuss the multidimensional poverty index also. Very interesting index. UPSC has asked question on NPI also. UPSC has asked question on SDI and NPI, both question have been asked. Climate action, it also takes climate action. Paris agreement में जो नेशनली डिटरमाइंड कंट्रीब्यूशंस हैं, NDCs हैं, जो कि कंट्री खुद बताती है कि मुझे इतना अचीव करना है, एंड देन दे गिव रिपोर्ट ऑल्सो. दैट इज मैंडेटरी. रिपोर्ट इज मैंडेटरी बट these NDCs आर नॉट मैंडेटरी एंड दीज आर मॉनिटर्ड बाय UNDP. डिफरेंट इंडेक्स जो कि मेंशन थे इसमें, उनके बारे में थोड़ा सा बात कर लेते हैं. ह्यूमन डेवलपमेंट इंडेक्स जो है UNDP रिलीज करता है. लाइफ एक्सपेक्टेंसी, एजुकेशन और GNI पर कैपिटा पे चलता है, और इसमें रैंक 130 है हमारी, और SDI 0.685 है, और कैटेगरी हम मीडियम में है. दिस इज वन विच वी हैव डिस्कस. देन इनइक्वालिटी एडजस्टेड, आई हैव ऑलरेडी टोल्ड, इनइक्वालिटी टुक अ लार्जर डेंट ऑन आर ह्यूमन डेवलपमेंट. कितना डेंट लिया? 30% के आसपास लिया. देन जेंडर डेवलपमेंट और जेंडर इनइक्वालिटी इंडेक्स हैं. ये दोनों इंडेक्स में अगर हम देखेंगे तो हमारा परफॉर्मेंस अच्छा नहीं है. रेशियो लेता है ये फीमेल टू मेल इन ह्यूमन डेवलपमेंट इंडेक्स, ग्लोबल डेवलपमेंट इंडेक्स कहते हैं इसको. और इनइक्वालिटी इंडेक्स जो है वो गैप देखता है रिप्रोडक्टिव हेल्थ में, एम्पावरमेंट में और लेबर में. ये 0.874 है और 102 रैंक है इसमें. तो याद रखना, जेंडर इनइक्वालिटी में हम गैप देखते हैं गैप देखते हैं रिप्रोडक्टिव हेल्थ में और बाकी सारी चीज़ों में, लेकिन जेंडर डेवलपमेंट इंडेक्स में हम गैप देखते हैं डेवलपमेंट HDI के अंदर. ठीक है, HDI फीमेल देखते हैं और मेल देखते हैं, उसमें गैप देखते हैं. ठीक है, याद रखना. देन मल्टी डायमेंशनल पॉवर्टी इंडेक्स की हम बात करें तो 135 पीपल मूव्ड आउट ऑफ MPI पॉवर्टी. एंड देन वी सी प्लानिटरी प्रेशर एडजस्टेड, PHDI बेसिकली क्लाइमेट चेंज से रिलेशन है इसका. SDI एडजस्टेड फॉर CO2 एमिशंस, मटेरियल फुटप्रिंट. इंडिया परफॉर्म्स रिलेटिवली बेटर टू लो एमिशंस. अब याद रखो, ये सारी चीज़ें आपको मेंस में एग्जांपल एंड सबके तौर पे आर्गुमेंट्स में यूज़ करनी है कि हम कहाँ कैसे एक्ट कर रहे हैं, कहाँ बेटर परफॉर्म कर रहे हैं, कहाँ वर्स परफॉर्म कर रहे हैं. अपने आर्गुमेंट को सपोर्ट कर सकते हो इन सब चीज़ों से. ओके, नाउ अटेम्प्ट दिस क्वेश्चन ऑन दिस डिस्कशन ऑन द HDI. Submit your answer in the comment section. We will jump to the next topic. Next topic is also very interesting. Xerces Blue Butterfly. I'll tell you a story on this butterfly. Very interesting. It appeared in the online section of the Hindu Science page 2. This butterfly is very interesting. Why? Because this is the first butterfly to go extinct in North America because of human activity. कोई प्राउड होने वाली चीज़ नहीं है. ह्यूमंस की एक्टिविटी की वजह से ये पहली बटरफ्लाई है जो एक्सटिंक्ट हुई है. इसका नाम ज़र्क्सीस क्यों है? ज़र्क्सीस, थोड़ा सा हिस्ट्री बताता हूँ. ज़र्क्सीस जो थे 1 और 2 पर्शिया के किंग थे. अगर 300 मूवी अगर आपने किसी ने देखी हो तो उसमें आई थिंक जो विलन के तौर पर दिखाया गया है वो ज़र्क्सीस को ही दिखाया गया है. तो वो जो किंग है वो पर्शिया के थे. पर्शिया में क्या है? सैंड ड्यून्स होते हैं. तो सैंड ड्यून्स में रहते हैं पर्शियन किंग का नाम है ज़र्क्सीस. ये बटरफ्लाई भी सैंड ड्यून्स में ही रहती थी. सैन फ्रांसिस्को में का जो एक पेनिनसुला है, उस पेनिनसुला में सैंड ड्यून इकोलॉजी थी. उस इकोलॉजी में ये फल फूलती रहती थी और बहुत कॉमन थी, स्पैरो के जैसी थी, बिल्कुल कॉमन. बट ये एक्सटिंक्ट हो गई 1940s में, आखिरी बार देखी गई थी. सो दिस इज़ वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग थिंग्स टू नो बिकॉज ऑफ ह्यूमन एक्टिविटी, अर्बनाइजेशन की वजह से. और अभी हम क्या कर रहे हैं, हम इसकी एक क्लोज रिलेटिव है उसको हम इंट्रोड्यूस कर रहे हैं वापस, और हमने उसका जो हैबिटेट है, जो सैंड ड्यून का जो हैबिटेट है, वो हमने रीस्टोर कर दिया है. तो नाम याद रखना, ज़र्क्सीस नाम है, सैंड ड्यून्स में रहती है, अमेरिका में एक्सटिंक्ट हुई थी. अभी इसकी एक क्लोज रिलेटिव है जिसका नाम है सिल्वरी ब्लू बटरफ्लाई, जिसको हमने री इंट्रोड्यूस किया है. ओके, इट विल कम इन योर GS पेपर 3 एनवायरनमेंट. ओके, सो आई हैव ऑलरेडी डिस्कस द reintroduction. What was the special feature of this butterfly? So this has irradiant frontal side, and the back side it was white spots. very beautiful butterfly. And also very interestingly, each and every butterfly had a unique pattern on their wings. Very important. Each and every butterfly had a unique pattern on their wings. नेम जो है वो किंग जक्सीस के नाम पे दिया गया है, और इसका एक्सटिंक्शन जो था वो एक बहुत बड़ा इशू बन गया था. Why? Because it was the first butterfly to go extinct because of the human activity, and there were it became anthropogenic extinction का आइकन बन गई थी ये बटरफ्लाई. और इसने बहुत सारे कंटेम्प्रेरी एम्फोसिस दिया उस टाइम पे, ताकि बहुत सारे कंजर्वेटरी मेजरमेंट्स लिए गए टू सेव देम. री इंट्रोडक्शन जो हो रहा है उसमें सरोगेट स्पीसीज ली गई है जिसका नाम है सिल्वरी ब्लू, एंड कैलिफोर्निया अकेडमी ने उसका जो हैबिटेट था, ड्यून हैबिटेट था, उसको रीस्टोर किया है. फर्दर जक्सीस सोसाइटी भी एक है जिसका बहुत बड़ा रोल है इन्वर्टिब्रेट्स को रीस्टोर करने में. 1971 की फॉर्म्ड है, ये इसी के वजह से फॉर्म हुई थी. ओके, देर आर सर्टन बटरफ्लाई विच आई थॉट दैट यू शुड रिमेंबर. 4 ringed butterfly. This was rediscovered in 2024 in the Namdapha National Park after 61 years. Then we have swallow-tail butterfly. Then it is also very important because new study ने over exploitation दिखाया है कि medicinally plant जो हम exploit करते हैं उनकी वजह से इसका habitat loss हो रहा है और ये भी खतरे में है. Then we have Cicadatus conjuncta. This is also an important butterfly. This is found in Western Ghats and recently discovered in 2008 as a new species. So these 3 butterflies, beautiful butterflies, I thought you will enjoy. Then what is the significance of butterflies? A lot of significance. First and foremost, aesthetic significance. Apart from that, they are very critical when it comes to food web because their larvae, their different stages of life act as a fodder for different species. Further, they are also important when it comes to pollination of the plants because they spread pollens from one place to another. Further, soil fertility से इनका indirect relation है because they chew up the plant basically leaves and they leave it and that act as a fertilizer. So this is the importance of butterfly in the environment. So based on this discussion, try and attempt this question and submit your answer in the comment section. We will jump to the next topic. Alright, so in the decoded section we will discuss a little bit about civil services. You all are preparing for civil services and you will know why you are preparing for civil services. What are the role of civil services, or let's say you gonna play in the Indian democracy, how you're going to help the elected representatives to render their businesses, their promises to the fruition, how you're going to continue the administration in the right direction to a long-term success of the country. So all these things are there, that civil services are there for a lot of roles, but there are certain challenges. You and I know the issue of corruption is there, red tapeism is there, then merit system, the merit meaning that after you get into the civil services, the way you are treated by the political executive is very dependent on your leaning, not on your merit. If you work really nice, you might be transferred quickly. So that kind of issues are there with the civil services, and there might be some reforms that might be needed. So this is a particular topic that is mentioned directly in the UPSC syllabus, and you should know a great deal about it because you are preparing for civil services and there might be question in all stages of the preparation. Alright, so we will see this article, what this article says, and then we will build up upon it and we will give extra things. So challenges faced by civil services is the backdrop, and it will come in GS paper 2, role of civil services. There have been questions. This particular question in 2017 was talking about this only, and then the other question in 2020 also talking about the reforms that are needed in the civil services. The news is this, that recently April 21 was the Civil Services Day, April 21, and Cabinet Secretary, I think this article mentioned that Cabinet Secretary spoke, TV Somanathan IAS spoke about civil services and he mentioned certain things. On that we will be discussing upon. So they were saying that okay, Constitution envisaged civil services in a way that they form the backbone of the administration by contributing neutrally, by contributing scientifically, objectively, and trying to implement things in a professional manner while the non-permanent executive changes every now and then. So we have these politicians, or let's say the ministers getting elected every 5 years, but the career bureaucrat working in this IAS, IPS and the State Public Service Commission officer, they are working continuously and then they are aware about the continuation of the administration. So that is how basically civil services were envisaged. On top of that, civil services were the mechanism through which these different socio-economic conditions, the changing socio-economic conditions will be reflected in the administration. That was the other goal. So in that context, civil services were important. So they had to play certain roles. So according to this article, civil services played a great role in the peaceful transfer of power. Every time election took place, and there was a peaceful transfer of power because of the civil services, and they conducted free and fair elections. You remember TN session, how much importance he gave to the free and fair elections. Not only that, initially India was not that literate to conduct a electoral exercise of that that significance. The civil services, the officers of the civil services, Indian civil services, they played a great role. They understood the population. They devised certain innovative ideas. For example, the idea of the symbol, the electoral symbol to a political party, that was a game changer. People could not read, but they can see that, okay, Batak is my, or let's say the Kamal is my, the hand sign is my political party, I'll vote for it. So this is all devised by civil servants only. So all these things took place, and the democracy flourished in India, and then they ensured that uninterrupted administration took place. Initially, we had so many president rules in different countries. Civil servants only continued with the president rule as per the article. Acted as a repository of institutional knowledge. So there might be a political leader who got famous very recently. They might be not that much educated. They might not know the administration, know-how of the administration. But the permanent executive, the civil servant, will serve them nicely, that they will tell all the knowledge, and they can advise the ruling government in the right manner. Then we have perform administrative tasks. Various administrative tasks of the political executive can be performed by the civil servants. Act as a fulcrum. Civil servants, for example, there is an IAS officer in a district. They will act as a fulcrum. They will overlook all the activity that are to be going on in a district. So they worked as a center of the administrative services. Maintaining law and order. Do not forget the police services. So they were maintaining law and order. Crisis management. All these disaster management authorities and everything are comprised of civil servants only. They were the first responder to all the crises. Maybe earthquake, maybe flood, maybe other disasters, epidemics, and many other things. So civil servants were there to serve. All the healthcare workers, all these civil servants. Do not confuse civil servants by IAS, IPS. All people who are working for the government, within the government, they may be on any position. They are all civil servants, and you are going to be part of it. Don't put yourself in a different pedestal. It's all civil services. So but then what happened to civil services? What went wrong? So erosion of neutrality took place. Political alignment gave them benefits, so they started getting political aligned. And you can see in recent appointments at various posts, you can see the clear political alignments. Secondly, we have seen the phenomena that people seek electoral success, or let's say ministerial post. In order to seek that, they align themselves politically to a certain faction of the political group. So that resulted in an erosion of neutrality in the bureaucrats. Insufficient expertise. They were generalist people. They were selected through a generalist exam. They were not given a particular skill was not given precedence over other things. So lack of specialization was there. That led to insufficient expertise in different aspects of the civil services. Then corruption at different levels, that we all know, because why? There may be many reasons. Feudalistic nature of our society, then overtly giving emphasis and giving power to civil servants. These powers are very meddled into very rules and regulations. They are like a maze, and you can enter from one place and you can never exit. So that led to a lot of corruption. So as explained to me by one of my teacher, that okay, there is a system, there is a way of system. एक रास्ता है system के through और एक रास्ता है corruption के through. अगर corruption के through रास्ता बड़ा easy है, quick है, तो system के through जाना मुश्किल है. And deliberately the way of system is very made difficult. Recently a lot of reforms have taken place, digitalization has taken place, and many other things have took place. So this has been made very easy, but earlier it was not so. Lack of accountability is there. People cannot hold these civil servants accountable for their misdoing. So that is there. You can see policemen slapping on road any person. You can see they are snatching the keys from the motorbike. Nobody can do anything. You can see all these incidents happening on social media. So holding them accountable is very difficult. Bureaucratic red tape is there. People protect other people. So brotherhood is there. So they protect each other, and that leads to red tapeism. And also inaction, the tendency of inaction, meaning that they don't take action because they fear that something will happen to them. So that is also there. A lot of paperwork takes place. Recently you have seen the spat between our minister and one of and the industry leaders. So minister was saying that okay, industry leaders are not doing the right thing, and the industry leaders said that okay, ministers, I have given you a report, so many days have passed and I could not get the clearance. So that red tape is there. Resistance to reform and innovation is there. Karmyogi, Mission Karmyogi is there to reform these, to take care of this, because civil servants do not opt for many new technologies and new things. They stick to old things. And regional and language barriers. So we have all India services and everything. People go all over the country and they struggle with it. For example, a person from Uttar Pradesh going to Tamil Nadu, or a person from Tamil Nadu coming to Uttar Pradesh. But we have success stories also. For example, our RBI governor, the Saktikant Das, he was from, I think, Odisha, if I remember correctly. He got posted in Tamil Nadu and then became RBI chief. So he is defying everything. The journalist approach is he's defying the language barrier, and he's defying everything. So that is there. What are the core values of the civil servants? So the core values of civil servants are very cliched, but you should remember them. You can use them in your exam. Allegiance to the constitution and law. Objectivity, meaning that you take decision not on the basis of your alignment but based on facts and figures. Impartiality, non-partisanship, that you don't take sides, you don't favor and fear. Honesty and integrity, that you remain truthful without even having oversight over you. You can remain integral to yourself. Empathy, you can empathize with other people. You are also a citizen, you are not above citizenry. Then you can empathize. Transparency, meaning that all actions are done in a transparent manner. Public can access information, they can seek clarifications. Commitment to the public service, that okay, I am not somebody who is above citizens, I am here to serve them, I am doing public service. You do not seek other things. And then probity and ethical standards. Then we have exemplary behavior and accountability. All these things should be there in a public servant. What reforms are required? There are certain reforms that are required. Hota committee says that fixed tenure and protection from the political interference should be there. So Neta cannot travel up IAS officer. That was recommended by Hota committee. Lateral entry was recommended by the second ARC and Niti Aayog. Performance based appraisal, meaning आप जितना perform करोगे उतना appraisal मिलेगा. This was also recommended. Streamlining recruitment and training. Second ARC कहती है कि ट्रेनिंग जो है वो आपको अलग तरीके से करनी चाहिए डिपेंडिंग ऑन दी सर्विसेज. Ethics and integrity framework set up an ethics committee, enforce stronger codes for conduct. Decentralization and empowerment of local officers, पुंची कमीशन ने बोला था. Then use of technology and e-governance. Second ARC also recommended e-governance as a panacea. Certain constitutional legal provision you should remember for your prelims perspective. So article 309 is there, that basically gives power to the legislature to regulate the recruitment and condition of services. Further, article 310 and 11 are there, where doctrine of pleasure and protection is also mentioned. So on the one hand, the civil servants works under the pleasure of president or governor. On the other hand, they are protected by the fact that natural justice is there. They have to be heard before any adverse action taken against them. Reasonable opportunity should be given. Article 312 is there. It empowers Rajya Sabha to create all India services by a resolution. 315, 323 articles are there related to public service commissions. For example, 315 establishes Union Public Service Commission, and 320 basically functions of UPSC, SPSC, recruitment, and other things are mentioned. Okay. There are rules like All India Service Act 1951, Civil Services Rule 1964, Central Civil Services Classification, Control and Appeal Rules 1965. All these rules are there. You can mention in your answers in the ethics or GS paper 2. What is the conclusion? Conclusion is that backbone is there, steel frame, or you can call it steel frame, as said by Sardar Patel, that civil services form a steel frame and they should remain neutral, and they should give advice very objectively, and they should not basically align to a political party or an ideology, and they should be citizen centric, so that the whole administration is very compassionate administration. If you can use that word, compassionate administration, we can create a compassionate administration. On that line, I'll give you a practice question. You can practice it after your prelims or now if you're not preparing for this year's prelims. We'll see you in the next session of Daily News Analysis. Thank you and good night.